1580. We've got your black.
Got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
In this video, we are going to talk about how scared I was of my feelings in my fearful avoidant days. I am Pauline, and I am so happy you are here, because when I'm making these videos, when I'm thinking of topics for the videos that can really help you, or I'm finding ways to help you even more, sometimes I really tune back into what it felt like to be in the crash state of my fearful avoidant attachment style. And one thing that came up as I was doing that the other day, I realized just how scared I was of my feelings. And right now, that is such a different reality. I am not scared of my feelings at all anymore. There is no feeling that could scare me.
Pause this real quick, and I am going to go back to this clip, but pause it. So what happens is, when you're dealing with dismissive avoidance and fearful avoidance, they tend to recoil from feeling, right? And what I've experienced as an anxious preoccupied is that they subtly, some subtle, some not so subtle, some passive aggressively, some very aggressively, try to mold you into accommodating that fear. Let me just tell you, all attachment styles are fluid. You don't have to stay that way. So a lot of people will be like, well, this is how I am. I need to process. No. You're accustomed to processing. Do you want to heal? Because guess how a fearful avoidant can heal? Through relationship. Guess how a dismissive avoidant can heal? Through relationship. But they've created this conditioning since they were children to stay where they are, because that's their safe space. That's their safety net. This is how I process. This is how I cope. But sometimes that old saying, if you want to grow, you got to get outside of your comfort zone. It applies to intimate relationships. You have to get outside of that space. Many people want to stay in that space, and it's like, no, you have to get outside. You got to get uncomfortable. I was talking to a fearful avoidant young lady the other day, and I started asking some really penetrating questions. And I swear for Jesus and all them white folk in heaven, her face scrunched up as if it caused her physical pain. And I believe it caused her physical pain. I asked really penetrating. It was like, ooh, yeah. I mean, she literally recoiled physically. Like, you could see her body like going through. I said, wow. So this is a real situation. But there are many people out there that are in this space, and what they try to do is get people to accommodate this. It's like, no, you have to change. I'm sorry. Finish the clip.
Reality, I am not scared of my feelings at all anymore. There is no feeling that could scare me. And it's so radically different. And so I wanted to just make a sit down chat video about this, because I want you to know what is possible, and that you can definitely heal this, and that whatever you are feeling right now doesn't mean that you are going to feel that the rest of your life. Absolutely not. So I think always from when I was very young, I learned to suppress feelings, and I think a lot of fearful avoidance have learned that. So when I was, I think 4 or 5, or maybe even 2, I don't even know, I would hear, don't cry, don't be a baby, all the cliche things, dismissive things, and I wasn't really allowed to be sad. I wasn't allowed to cry. I wasn't allowed to be angry. I wasn't allowed to be really frustrated. Any powerful portrayal of emotion was just not really allowed, and mostly met with anger. And therefore, I started suppressing feelings. When I grew a little bit older, I also adopted this belief that feeling sad or crying was actually weak, and being weak was being incapable, and just a recipe for rejection and abandonment.
Man, this is heavy stuff. Listen, if you're with somebody and they're like this, don't listen, y'all go to therapy. You send them to therapy. And I'm going to tell you why. Not because something is wrong with them, but more so because you don't have the necessary skills to deal with what they're going through. Many times, we come in with a mallet when we need a scalpel, right? You can't tell, just get over it, because now you're re-traumatizing them. This is what traumatized them in the first place. You're not giving them space to feel or space to access the coping mechanism that they developed from when they were a child. It's best to, hey, let's go to therapy, or you go to therapy. You need to work this out. But even bringing up therapy for a lot of people is like, oh, you think something wrong with me. You think I'm broke, right? So you got to find a way. If you love this person, if you care about this person, you got to find a way to offer it in such a way that it doesn't come across as condescending or demeaning or disrespectful or hurtful. Listen, this is why I say relationships, man, requires relationship surgeons. You can't perform surgery on your relationship until you perform surgery on yourself. Many of the things you modeled from your home, from your early life, you have to cut out skillfully. Hey, let's get her back in here. Attila, Houston, Texas. You getting ready to cook? I already know. We need to know what ick is. Listen, this is your topic. You being a fearful avoidant. Come on, let's embrace it. You're a fearful avoidant. It's fine. Let's hug the fear and the anxiety. Talk to me about what your life is like. Come on.
You just said, well, hug it. All right. Listen. Let's talk about what my life is like. You know what my life looks like? It looks like unintentional, as you said, blindness the other day, right?
Inattentional blindness.
My bad.
Yes.
Inattentional blindness, yeah? So it's important for me to mute out the good aspects of my partner if I'm going to move away from them. Number one. Number two. Okay?
Wait, stop.
Number two.
No. Let's just go back to number one. Did you hear what she just said? If I'm going to move on from my partner, it is listen to me. Has this ever happened to anybody out here in radio? If I'm going to move on from my partner, it is important that I block out their good qualities. Did you say that?
Yeah.
What does that mean, Lord? What kind of saboteur? This is high level espionage right here. Talk to me.
Look, I'm out here like working like a secret detective or something. You know what I'm saying? Not always be calling me a detective. It's true. It's not a lie. I am a relational detective. I am detecting and looking for all sorts of metals, minerals, and all sorts of things that say ick. So what is the ick? You're gonna hear it in the clip that Uncle played, right? But when we're talking about the ick, it's the little inconspicuous things that the person does. It can be something as simple as like, I don't know, they had a hair sticking out, and you'll try and find ways to logically say that I need to leave this situation because I don't like the way that hair is sticking out. Now that sounds real silly, but it's not until you're watching someone else do it to you they're just like, oh, that's what that was. This is why you can spend a magical 8 months, year, however long you want to spend with this person, and then they just up and leave you.
So
It's too
wait.
much.
Now you're getting deep, deep. This is why a lot of clinicians, I don't know if they're worth their salt, but this is why I hear a lot of clinicians have this conversation to try to create like a distinction between narcissism and avoidance. Because
Mhm.
what you just described, the ick, is really
Mhm.
devaluation, which is a
Yes.
narcissistic tactic. So this is
Mhm.
this is why they say, well, let's create this divide and this distinction between the dismissive avoidant and the fearful avoidant because they do devalue before the
Mhm.
discard. Talk to me.
We all do it. No, it's not I wouldn't necessarily say it's specific to fearful avoidance and dismissive because I think that's something that we all can do. What the reason why the grief piece in this topic is so important is because grief, if it's not transmuted and developed into something positive, this is the result that you're going to get. Sometimes you are actually acting out of self preservation from a previous pain, hurt, loss, and it looks like a narcissistic tactic. It looks like an ick. You feel me?
This is
So like
good. Keep going.
I've
This is good, good. Come on.
right. So I look at it like this. Like in the way that I've observed myself and how I've handled situations in the past, like I think I was so afraid to get close to that person that I had to come up with ways to get rid of them. That sounds horrible, but it's just the truth. And like I said, once it was done to me, I said, "Oh!" And it's the silliest thing because, like I said, you don't really. It's not conscious. I'm not consciously going through my Rolodex of reasons to drop a dude. However, that's exactly what it looks like. And so when you run into someone who says, I see what you're doing, and I don't like it," like, that's not cool, right? Like very few people I think can really spot these things. And what we'll do is we just put a label over this person's a narcissist. No, they're scared. They are
Andy,
extremely afraid of you.
that's what Andy just said. He said, afraid of success. Keep going.
Hmm. Yeah, because think about it this way: if I make it to the top of Mount Everest, who's going to help me get down?
Wait.
Like,
You were scared climbing up to the top, and now you scared to climb down? Lord have
well,
mercy.
who's gonna help me get down? How am I gonna get down? I'm sitting there on the top looking at it like, oh, that's a long
That's a long
way.
way
And you
down.
know what? God forbid you stumble a little bit along the way, meaning that the person does something that triggers you or reminds you of something, or God forbid they remind you of the grief that you've just experienced. It's not them, it's you. But your mind is not interpreting it that way. It's kind of like if you stub your toe and then you kick the vacuum cleaner. The vacuum cleaner just exists, it's just there. Yeah. So I think we treat our partners in a very similar way. Hence why the topic of the unintentional blindness is so important. That's crucial to you basically getting the ick and moving past what's possibly the love of your life. Let's keep that a book.
Wow. Girl, you thought about this one, didn't you? How many?
Listen, Unc,
Let me
I'm
just
tired
ask.
of suffering, okay?
No, hold on. Let me ask you. How many times have you, or how many partners have you found the ick in? Ooh.
Ooh, now come on now.
I'm saying,
You're gonna have some people in Houston
let me
trying to
get
call
let
me.
me get
Some
deep
people in
with you.
Louisiana trying to call me.
Come on,
Listen.
Attila. Is the ick predicated on the strength of the bond, of the attachment, on how much you really like them? Talk to me.
I would say the more you like them, the worse the ick is. the more reasons that you're trying to find to get away from them because you've met your match, right? Like, it's not every day somebody can look at you and say, yeah, I'm going to need you to be a little bit more vulnerable. And I'm not saying this from a selfish way. I'm saying this from the point of view in order for you to heal, because I see that you're in pain. If somebody put it to you like that, what can you really say?
So what you're saying is, when you're with a person that you can't hide from, the ick shows up like, look at your hair. Where is your hair, Zoe? Where's your hair? Why you always wearing a hat? Where is the hair?
Listen, I thought about sending you some of these TikToks that some of these girls make where they'll be like, oh my God, and he picked me up in a Honda, like that kind of stuff. It's like, sis. Now people will say, we have normalized this and said that these are standards. Boo-boo. How you going to have a standard about a man that drives a Honda, but you drive a Camry? I'm just saying. It don't even make sense to me.
See,
the math ain't mathing.
And let me tell you, I'm this person in relationship. I'm going to point out the ick in me. While at the same time, you can't hide from me. So I'm going to take your power a little bit. And be like, yeah, I'm flawed. Yeah, I do this. Yeah, I do that. But I see you. A lot of people don't like to be seen. And watch this. Self-awareness or self-unawareness is part of that unintentional blindness too. Inattentional blindness as well. I don't want to see myself, and I don't want to be with somebody who can see me. Talk to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So let me think back a couple of years. I remember having an experience with a particular ex of mine, and he just straight up, flat up called me out. I messed up. I did some stuff that was just not cool on the morality tip. And so he called me out on it.
No. Wait. You're going to have to tell this story all over again. Hold tight. When we come forward, we going back to Houston, Texas. These topics are out of control.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit LAFLA.org. LAFLA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. More. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
No, wait, hold on. That song is so nice. Far away from it. This song is so far. They have another song called Stars. Can you, Andy? Man, the voice of reason in his playlist. I want y'all to get into this real quick. Let's go.
So many times you could have walked away, but I didn't have to say a word to convince you to stay. 'Cause you know and I know this thing is real. So we continue to learn, and our love grows deeper still. Each day, watch you get better at this. Each moment, I'm more and more convinced. We trusted love, we took the risk. We ran our own pace. We won our race, and I could never turn away. We've come so far. Stars will come with you, baby. My heart belongs right here next to you, baby. You, baby.
Something she said to me kind of correlates to this because she was on a dating app. She hates dating apps, but she was on a dating app. Bear in mind, she's a mid-30s woman. And there was this really wonderful guy. He's nicely mannered guy. And she said, I'm not interested in him. I said, why? She goes, look at the background of his Hinge or whatever it was photo. There's boxes on top of his cupboard. And that was her reason for this. I was like, that's a really good guy. He's got a great job. Seems really nice. He's been really polite to her. And the reason why she didn't want to be with him was because there was a box on the wardrobe behind him in the Tinder picture.
This is what frustrates me about modern dating. And you used the word ick before, so I know you're familiar with it. But the ick has become this trend.
Only because of her.
Oh, you know about it from her. Okay,
she says ick to me.
So for people listening who haven't heard of it, the ick is this new trendy word that basically means the reason why all of a sudden you're not interested in someone. And so my friend is the comedian Jared Freed, and he does hilarious bits about this. And so he travels around the country asking women for their icks. And one of them is, you're having an amazing date, you want to go home with the guy, it's time to pay the bill. You pull out your wallet and you hear, shh, he has a Velcro wallet. The ick, you're not sleeping with him. And he has these hilarious bits. One woman told him, my ick was that I was on a date with the guy and I imagined him being...
So back to the beginning of the show. I said you can't discount anyone's experience, right? Because our experience is our experience. We're the expert of our own experience. However, I do believe that most people are flying blind in relationship. Why? Because most people are self-unaware. This is why I say when you walk into a relationship, you should walk into the relationship understanding who you are through and through. Do you understand? You got to understand your attachment style. You got to understand how that attachment style shows up in relationship when triggered. This is why I'm saying it's a self-journal, really. When you walk in, you have to be like, okay, if I'm triggered, how will I show up and how will I manage? It's not the issue that is your issue. It's how you respond to the issue that is your issue. So many people are conditioned to protect wounds. You are your wound's lifetime security guard. And you've formulated rigid, unrealistic expectations born out of coping mechanisms designed for somebody to get in line so you can stay the same. This is what I'm saying. We're all gross mismanagers of intimate relationships because we go into those things thinking that we can escape from us. You cannot, and you will not. So either you get self-savvy or self-reflections will keep coming back to you. I know you're not ready for tonight. Come on in here, Attila. Come on.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. Man, all right. So let's talk about this ick thing. Again, so he used the cupboard example of his friend or whatever the case, which, yes, that is true. That is definitely a silly ick. But I think we need to go a little bit deeper. I think the icks for someone that you really, really do like start to come up when you notice that the person is challenging you. Mm-hmm. There are no icks before that. There is no challenge when there is no vulnerability. It's fun, right?
Wait.
It's casual.
You cooking right now. We gotta go even deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember the show we did last year when we said nothing ever happened to you. It happened for you. You remember that episode? Mm-hmm. Nothing ever happened to you. It happened for you. The higher the spiritual consciousness, the higher the perspective, the higher the self-awareness. Do you know any relationship can recover from pretty much anything?
Absolutely.
Except, of course, somebody trying to kill you. Except somebody trying to beat you into some soup. We get that. We're talking about infidelity, financial infidelity, cheating, lying, betrayal. Any relationship can recover from anything if you recognize everything is for your highest good. Hold tight. When we come forward, me and Attila go keep cooking. I promise I'm going to get to the rest of the callers.
All the way that I could make the change.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Hall of Fame football player O.J. Simpson, known for his historic rushing records and infamous for a high-profile murder trial, has died at 76 from cancer. After a successful career with the Buffalo Bills, he transitioned to roles as a football announcer and actor. His life took a dramatic turn in 1994 with his arrest following a televised car chase, ultimately resulting in acquittal in a trial that captivated the nation. A Goucher College Baltimore Banner survey conducted from April 3rd to 7th among over 700 registered voters shows Baltimore City voters give high marks to elected leaders for their response to the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse. Governor Wes Moore, who is black, received a 74% approval rating. President Biden garnered 62%. And Mayor Brandon Scott, who was also black, earned a 61% approval rating. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. 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 Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Helping to broaden your political
and moral imagination
with our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
I feel occasional burning and stabbing in my hands as I age.
I sometimes feel numbness and tingling in my feet as I get older.
It's starting to get in the way of doing what I love.
At Nervive, we hear you, and we can help. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use.
Now that I know, I'm taking control.
Try Nervive Nerve Relief and say yes to healthy nerves. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Love and happiness. Yeah.
Wait,
Something that
wait,
can make...
hold on. That's classic. That's legendary. That's legendary. Can't nobody question my playlist. When you hear Al Green, you know Grits done made somebody love in such a way. Grits with sugar in it. They love somebody in such a way that you gonna find forgiveness, some kind of. But there's a record I'm looking for. It's Mystery Lady. I've gotta hear it. It's a new record. I played it once before. Y'all gotta listen to this. Let's go.
Thinking I can make as many songs about a lady when I haven't met her, but she only hit it on my cerebellum. If I say I love her, am I wrong? Am I crazy? Am I overzealous? But I know the feeling, and I'm never wrong. Swear that I've been gifted with a song in a minute. It's intoxicating. It weigh on you heavy like the alcohol. We can do like anything you want. I'm amazing, let it to my lady. I just want a pleasure. Check my catalog. In this life, I come across fans and hoes. I like to give my fans a rose. Curse of the talented, everywhere I go they wanna change clothes and pose. But my wife be in my dreams, bruh. No, I couldn't see it. I saw a silhouette, I know I can make a way. But when I wake up alone, I just break out my phone. Thinking I can make as many songs about a lady when I haven't met her, but she only hit it on my cerebellum. If I say I love her, am I wrong? Am I crazy? Am I overzealous? But I know the feeling, and I'm never wrong. Swear that I've been gifted with a song in a million. It's intoxicating. It weigh on you heavy like the alcohol. We can do like anything you want. I'm amazing. Let it to my lady. I just want a pleasure. Check my catalog.
I find that in both scenarios, regardless of the outcome of either of those, people are often questioning why does this person who claims to have at one point or another been really into me not want to fight for this like I am? And I'm here to just make a sobering truth. And I'm going to try and break this down for everyone to understand. But I'm going to point it as simply as this. Avoidant brain is not anxious or secure brain in a relationship. Meaning that when you are connecting with someone who has avoidant attachment, let's just say severe avoidant attachment for the argument's sake, their disposition is not to try and get close and to connect with someone, it's to do the opposite. When they actually connect with someone at an emotional level, that causes them to feel a flood of unworthiness and a whole range of discomfort inside of themselves, where their inner critic goes ballistic and starts telling them things like, you are not good enough for this person that you're dating. You are not worthy to be with someone like this. You're not going to be able to meet this person's needs. And they do tremendous battles in their head where they have their...
Listen, y'all. Y'all got to listen to that. Let me just say how they can make you feel when they deactivate the avoidance. Don't take that in, anxious, preoccupied. Don't take that in. Don't look at that as an assessment of your quality, of your worthiness. Because they do it to... This is them protecting themselves. That's the avoidant brain. right? Oh my God, there's emotional connection. This means something. They can see me. Oh Lord, right? That's never been a comfortable space for them because it got turned off in childhood. But what happens to the anxious is, why are you doing that to me? I thought you said you love me. Do you see? So once they deactivate, you are not to internalize that. Hey, secure attachment. Don't change your attachment style to, an insecure one. Don't become anxious. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't allow their coping mechanism, right? That deactivation, don't allow that to make you believe in devaluation. Don't feed into the devaluation of self. No, you are worthy. You are worthy. They're scared. Just remember that. You're worthy. They're scared. All right, let it finish.
The opposite. When they actually connect with someone at an emotional level, that causes them to feel a flood of unworthiness and a whole range of discomfort inside of themselves, where their inner critic goes ballistic and starts telling them things like, you are not good enough for this person that you're dating. You are not worthy to be with someone like this. You're not going to be able to meet this person's needs. And they do tremendous battles in their head where they have their own version of anxiety. Where for the anxious attacher, our battle is often feeling like we're too much, we're too needy, we're not good enough, we're not attractive enough, as examples. Their battle is entirely different. They do not want to feel vulnerable with a partner because they fear that if things were to get closer, if they were to be in a more intimate relationship with you than they already are, you will leave them or it will inevitably end. They have a very pejorative view of how relationships are going to go. Their brain is designed to adapt, their brain is adapted to situations like this, where if they ever get particularly emotionally close to someone, it's like they're on a highway and they jump a lane in order to protect themselves, and they don't have sometimes much control over what's going on. This can be a very
Man, oh Manischewitz. Then imagine if you're dismissive, avoidant, or fearful avoidant, and a covert narc. Or dismissive, anxious, preoccupied, fearful avoidant, and BPD. Yikes! That's why I say we don't know nothing about the people we dealing with because we don't know nothing about self. We don't even know what we are and what is attracted to us. Attila, get back in here with your final thought.
All right, so my final thoughts. One thing I wanted to add to what you just said, if you are a fearful avoidant dealing with another fearful avoidant, be careful not to sneak into complete avoidance, meaning that you've experienced something like what the man was speaking about and you door slam the person, right? The reason why that's important is because the reason why that lesson is coming up so that you can learn conflict management and you can learn to accept rejection, not as a depiction of who you truly are, but more so a depiction of what you've done to others and what it is that's coming back to you to show you what not to be and who not to be. So, yeah.
Attila, let me just say, this was a powerful topic, sister. We appreciate the consistency of high quality excellence. Thank you for your topic. Yo, you brought Houston, Texas in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Do we have time for another? Yes, LS Hawthorne, get in here.
Good evening, Zoe.
Good evening, LS. You already know what you got to do. You know what you got to do. You got to educate us. What has happened? What is your attachment style? And how do you deal with grief? Here we go.
Okay, so my attachment style, surprisingly, is secure attachment now. But on the pie chart, it says only 50%. So some avoidant is the other large 25%, and then some, other things, dismissive and other stuff mixed up in there. So growing up in a childhood where a lot of abuse was prevalent in the house, and a lot of spiritual bypassing was something that was utilized to deal with all of the abuse, just my father, he had mental illness and, some other things. So the things that he did in the house was always, pray about it, forgive, turn the other cheek. God's going to work it out. And not saying that it isn't, but there's some people that have medical issues.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, Ellis. Please forgive me for interrupting because this is getting very,
Sure.
very rich. But what was his profession? What did he do? What was he?
My father was a musician, but he also would do different odd jobs where he was making a lot of money, but he was a person who would leave and want to go do other things instead of be there for the family. So he was, but I would say his main gift and talent was musician. They used to perform together. My mom would sing, my dad would play the bass. They had a band, and they would go do gospel music around. That's majority of my childhood, before he left. But my father had a mental illness, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia, and he did not get medicated during the time that my parents were married. And when they divorced, he ended up marrying someone else and got medical attention, and he became, a better person to deal with. And he apologized, when I was older about a lot of the stuff that happened in the house. But growing up, that doesn't help that while you're going through your growing pains, when you're just trying to process that this is what your life is like. You can't make too much fuss. When you talk about something, everything is swept under the rug. You learn to be a situational liar because you're not allowed to tell what goes on in the house. What happens in the house stays in the house. I don't know if anybody else has heard that saying, but that was a major thing that was in my household. So I got to a point where I just realized that no one is here to protect you. If you are smart, like you have some intelligence in the family, that meant you could be responsible and more independent. So that didn't mean let's push you. That means, less I got to do for this one. And so it became a thing like you excel and you skip grades and you do stuff, but all of that stuff is that's what you're supposed to do because you're smart. That's what you're supposed to do. So it wasn't one of those things
Wasn't
where
really
I needed
acknowledged.
valid.
Right. Wasn't really
Yeah,
acknowledged.
so it's right, but if you go sing at church and you go do this, then that is applauded, right? In our household. So it was what mattered more is what you did for God and other people opposed
It sounds like you were a preacher's kid.
Indeed. My mother ended up becoming a pastor later on when I was a teenager. But before she was just, person going to church. Then she started evangelizing. Then she became a choir director. It just kept going upward for her. But all the while at the house, it was chaos. So as I got older, she told me, she said, sometimes when you are going through so much, you run to God, and sometimes you don't process everything that you're going through because you're so busy running or giving it all over to God, or you think you are, that you don't have an opportunity to even process everything that's happening. Because I guess, spiritual bypassing is just something I learned about, watching your show. But for the most part, I believe that was something that was definitely going on in my household, even though we didn't know that was the name for it. And then also, to a lot of toxic positivity of, hey, it's bad now, but it's going to get better. But I believe that because, eventually things did get better. So, I thought that was just...
I got to ask you this. Earlier, I played a clip that talked about, it was the young lady interviewing her dismissive avoidant father, and he was talking about how he's processing. He was basically saying the little griefs, the accumulated little griefs, had more of an impact than, say, somebody dying. He was able to get over somebody dying. but he talked about the
Right.
accumulated little griefs. My question, how have you been able to process those accumulated griefs that you experienced throughout childhood and early adulthood? Talk to me.
I used disassociation and compartmentalization in a way where, like, hey, like I was watching a movie and it was happening to someone else and not me.
So a
And
type of
then it
a type
became
of splitting almost. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
listening. Yes.
definitely. Yes,
Yes.
a splitting. So I was able to deal with that and just still excel at school and do other things that I needed to do so that I could eventually get out sooner.
Wait,
So it was
wait,
just one of
wait.
those
Stay
things.
right there, LS. You cooking. Hold tight. We got to come for it when we come for it. We going back to Hawthorne, California. This is rich.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had leaf filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You know you want some more. More. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, yo brother, Zoe Williams, the VOR, man. I love y'all so much. You know my playlist is my co-host. Man, these are some very powerful conversations, and I appreciate everybody for tapping in from all over the country. We got LS from Hawthorne. I want to get her final thought before we move to our next caller. What are your final thoughts, sweetheart?
So my final thoughts are, whatever you're going through or you have been through, then of course the journey is the journey is for us. My daughter, she's like being real ticklish and talkative right now, but it's you definitely you want to work on yourself mostly for yourself, but if you have children or just really interacting with other people, you want to interact with others better. And you want to come from a place where you're genuine. So work on yourselves. Regardless of what you went through, you can overcome that and you can heal from that.
I love it. LS brought Hawthorne. You already know what it is. Hustle. Miami, Florida is in the building. Hustle. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? You got about 2 minutes to just get it.
All right. I appreciate you, fam.
Yes, sir.
So I read the topic. You're talking about attachments and grieving and whatnot. So I'm going to take it as on breakups. Something I learned mostly was to understand what the other person does when they leave. To not take it personal is to understand both sides. That way, you know how they say, what we resist persists.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
We gotta let that information come to us. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, because after I learned, and then you can learn from the one who hurt you now.
Oh, absolutely. You learn the most.
That little dismissive, avoidant, there's some strength to that. There's a strength to being able to dismiss certain things that need not your attention.
Right. Agreed.
Use what they teach you and move forward. That's it.
Man, hustle habit, man. I love this, brother, man. Thank you, man, for always riding with me across platforms. We appreciate it. You brought Miami, Florida in the building. Listen, we start these conversations, but seriously, they are up to you to finish. If you want to finish it in person, tomorrow night, Drobe Stogies, your brother Zoe Williams is doing a live relationship roundtable at Drobe Stogie Cigar Lounge in the City of Champions, Inglewood, California. When I tell you, it's going to be complete fire. You want to get there early. It starts 7 p.m., April 12th, Drobe Stogies, 1322 North La Brea Avenue in the City of Champions, Inglewood, California. It's going to be amazing. You simply don't want to miss it. All right? I appreciate everybody for tapping in. I'll see y'all next week with another series of slappers.
Spells about what it means to be wise. Glittering whites and shooting comets, milky beds that speak.